Happy Sunday, my friends. It's Chris, the Batman statue collector. How's everybody doing out there? This was a really cool weekend because we had the next level event from Prime One Studio, and shockingly, we had some DC pieces revealed, including just some ones we were not expecting even. So that was really exciting in itself. Definitely had a really kind of a funny reaction if you go back and watch it. But anyway, I'm really excited today because I want to talk about my hits and misses of the show. I always do these after a big event and anytime we get like a lot of new reveals. Now, some of it, of course, I'm going to stick to mostly DC, but we have some stuff that I also thought was really cool that maybe I wouldn't purchase because I, just don't have room, but at the same time, I can still appreciate it from afar. So I appreciate the artistry, even though sometimes like the anime pieces and things, like I have no idea what they are, or maybe the video game pieces, just because I do not connect with those, but I still appreciate the artistry and the, just the overall lovely nature of these things, like the creativity that goes into these, the talent of the sculptors is just phenomenal. I also want to give a shout out to Johnny, Johnny M at Prime One, who contacted me about the show. I also wanted to confirm one thing that has been kind of rumored. The Mr. Freeze is 100% 1/3 scale. Okay, I just want to confirm that because again, there was some controversy in the community today about whether it was going to be 1/4. Prime One had posted 1/4 in one of the groups. I believe it was by mistake. This is going to be 1/3 scale. So it's very exciting indeed. Okay, so anyway, let's get to the hits and misses of the show. So, well, I've already talked about Mr. Freeze, so let's just dive right into him. Obviously, we only got the portrait. We only got kind of what his head's going to look like. I am extremely excited about this. This is something that I've wanted for a very long time. Of course, I have the Arkham piece, which still holds up. It's still very good, but it doesn't necessarily look comic book-like, and I want something that looks more comic book-like, that's taken from the comics and not just from the game. Yes, I'm looking at it over here. I still think it's, it still holds up. It still has all of the great aesthetics you want from a Mr. Freeze, but I'm really excited about this. Obviously, Sideshow has a great one. We're going to get a great bust in 3rd scale from Tweeterhead. But this is going to be, of course, a full-size statue, so I'm definitely going to be getting that one, and of course the Tweeterhead bust as well. So I'm very excited. So will Legendary Beast do one as well? Time will tell. We'll see if we have any, teasers about that piece. But from what I've seen from the renders, very excited. Probably more excited about that than anything else they showed on the show. So we're going to start out strong. Also, of course, the Riddler. I had actually seen some of those renders. That was shared with me maybe about 4 months ago or so. I've had to keep it real quiet, but you guys got to see what I saw. And actually, I got to see some new ones here just with you guys as well. But Prime One, and again, having some conversations with Prime One, they are wanting very much to up the level of what they're doing, this ultra realistic. They're still going to do quarter scale. They said they're still going to do the regular 1/3 scale master line, but these like that elevated master line where they put extra detail. And Mr. Freeze is one of those, and Riddler's one of those. So you're going to get that extra realism. Now, I've heard from some collectors that are not really thrilled about that because they feel like it might not fit in with the aesthetic of the previous versions, like let's say a Jason Fabok piece or, a Lee Bermejo piece. Will it still look good side by side? I am very much in the camp that yes, it will. I think it'll be just fine. But again, some people don't really want that realistic, that realism. So it'll be interesting to see how collectors react when it comes to them actually being up on pre-order. Also, we have not seen anything other than the portraits of both these characters. So I can't wait to see the full reveal of Riddler. I hope there's a lot of nice swap outs. And again, it's a great time to be a Riddler fan because again, we got the Tweeterhead bust. We've got the Sideshow premium format. And then of course this one from Prime One Studio. It's very exciting. And so definitely a big giant hit of the show for me. Okay, a little bit of a miss on this one will be the Henry Cavill Superman, just simply because of the timing. I feel like that's a miss. There are still Ben Affleck fans out there. There's still Gal Gadot fans out there, that whole, Zack Snyder universe. And there are still a lot of fans. And I think that this is definitely an elevated piece from the one they did before. I commented that on the reaction video that I did. And so I think that this is going to be a very cool piece, and I think that collectors are going to respond fairly well to it. I have seen a lot of rumblings saying they wish it was the red and blue suit, and they're like, I'll wait. If they do a red and blue suit, it's day one. So hopefully Prime One listens to that and they offer it in both paint jobs basically, but I think the sculpt looks really good. Obviously the Henry Cavill sculpt looks even better than their former one. So I mean, there are good things about it, but it's just a miss for me because it's not a character I would get. But I do appreciate the amount of work that's gone into this. And again, I just feel like, it would be more popular if it was the other colors. Okay, so a little bit of a miss there. Let's talk about the hit for me, of course, is the Alex Ross Batman, Wonder Woman, Superman combination. I most likely will not get all three, obviously, but I will get the Batman. The miss on the Batman is like the bat signal kind of like goes up over his shoulder, which would not be the case. It would actually kind of go into the crease of his arm. Prime One has already addressed that and said that they are going to be fixing that. So, keep that in mind. So I love this Batman. Again, obviously very similar poses from Legendary Beast, who's doing a third scale piece. I'm getting that one in. There's the Iron Studios, which I think looks really good. And then this one, they're all very similar. They're all very similar poses. They're all based on the art of Alex Ross. And so collectors are really going to have a great choice with this one. So I feel like that is a great hit because anytime you give collector choice, that's always a good thing. However, if you get too much choice, it can saturate the market. So, you have to weigh it out, right? It's good and the bad, as of everything in life, right? So anyway, I definitely like Batman. Superman, I think, is really well done. I like the art direction. I like the texturing that's going on. Again, there's less texture on the Iron Studios, so some of you might relate more to that, resonate with those pieces. I tend to like the texture. I like those pieces, so I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that I have a chance to review all of them for you guys. I would love the opportunity to be able to do that, and that way we can kind of compare and contrast, so you can make the decision whenever you go to spend your hard-earned money. You can actually choose in 4D here, 4K, exactly what you're looking for. So anyway, definitely a hit for Batman. Wonder Woman, or excuse me, Superman. I already talked about Batman. Wonder Woman, I thought, was very good as well. I wasn't initially happy with her portrait. She has kind of this really kind of strong, kind of, I don't know what word I'm looking for here, but she is not real soft in the face. She is very defined. And some people feel like that's maybe not pretty enough or not beautiful enough. Well, again, if you look at the art of Alex Ross, I feel like Prime One nailed it. I think that the more I see, the more photos I see of her, I think it's really well done. And I think she is very beautiful and very strong and very mighty. She is an Amazonian princess. She is a rock star. And I think that Prime One really reflected that in that portrait. So I am curious as to what you guys think about that particular piece as well. But man, I think that this Trinity, I like the way that you can kind of back them all together. I mentioned it in my reaction video where I love the idea of it being on like a turntable. Just because they are going to look great. I like the low profile bases. They're not going to take up a lot of room. I wish it was third scale though. I mean, I really do, but I'm going to definitely get Batman for sure. So definitely a hit. Again, the emblem on the chest needs to be fixed, but once they get that done, I think it'll be a big hit for most collectors out there. And which is better? Prime One, Iron Studios. That'll be for the community to decide, which again is great, right? So that was basically the DC. No, they did also talk about the Berserker Batman. And the Berserker Batman, I didn't do a reaction to this one. We've actually kind of seen it before. It's a massive piece. It's a piece that does not resonate with me at all because I'm not into that. But I think what they were trying to do is kind of, bridge that gap between Batman and anime, the video game type stuff. Definitely get that vibe to it. And I think that they nailed that look. I think it's absolutely fantastic. It's going to be a very large piece, but it doesn't connect with me as a Batman DC Comics guy, but I think it's still a cool piece. So it's a bit of a miss for me, but I still appreciate the artistry for sure. It's really well done by Prime One. So yeah, that basically covers the DC stuff. Now, again, there was lots of things on the Prime One show, on the Prime One website, where you can go and see all of the coming soon items. The things that stuck out for me were some of the movie pieces, like the Dune piece, the God of War piece. Like there's just a lot of really good stuff. Again, that next level portraits, basically, where they're really focused on the portraits. And I think it shows. They're definitely, again, I got confirmation that they're not going to ever do the silicone. That is not their thing. But it makes you question, the quality because it's so good. People are going to be like, is that silicone? Like, no, they're not going to do that because that's just what they believe in. They believe in the poly resin. But the movie pieces, I thought the Dune looked really good. The Henry Cavill Superman, I feel like, was the weakest of the three that they showed, but still good. It's just neat to see what they're doing. Obviously, I think they're still working with Blitzway on some of those pieces, but obviously Prime One's doing some as well, which is very exciting indeed. I really liked the Cave Troll. I thought that was really cool. It's just going to be a massive piece. Again, it's not something that I would get, but there had a lot of really great Lord of the Rings pieces, and I've been really a fan from afar of the quarter scale pieces that they've been doing. Again, just a very cool, just a cool setup. If you're a fan of those movies, and I feel like they've been really true to that. And of course, King Sauron, is just like, oh my God, that's going to be a third scale piece. Like that looks incredible. So I'm excited about that for collectors. Again, it's not a piece that I'm going to collect, but I definitely thought that was a big hit. Another thing that I thought was going to be a big hit is that Fallout announcement. A lot of people love Fallout. I'm assuming, we're going to see all the characters, or at least maybe 2 or 3 from that film. There's definitely 3 main characters. So that would be really cool to see, because I love that show. Like I fell in love with that show from the moment if somebody said, "Hey, Chris, have you not watched Fallout?" I'm like, "What is Fallout?" I love it. I absolutely love it. Just like I love The Boys. Again, great stuff. And so hopefully we'll see another Boys. They didn't tease anything else from that franchise, but they definitely teased Fallout, and I think that's very cool. So I'm looking forward to that one. And I think the last piece that really caught my attention, I talked about on the live reaction, was the Alien piece. Just look phenomenal. And again, I feel like it looks like a museum piece. I like the artistry of it. I like the movement. I like the flow. It just has a really nice look and aesthetic to it. So that one definitely made my hit list as well. Of course, I could say a whole bunch of misses because, again, like I don't know a lot of these franchises. I am not a big video game player. I'm a Batman guy. So that's what I focus in on. But again, like I said, I can definitely appreciate the art from afar. Tons and tons of announcements of like word title announcements of like properties that they're going to be doing. Hopefully, again, just like other companies, I hope that they don't jump in with too many, because again, that slows everything down. But again, we saw a lot of great Predators. We saw Alien stuff. We saw video game stuff. We saw anime. It was all really good. And I feel like for me, the biggest hit overall was the variety that they offered in this show. I heard a lot of people say this was my favorite show they've done so far because it did feel very balanced. And I was not expecting that going in. So that was, again, a good hit for me because I was expecting all anime and all stuff that I had no idea about. But man, I'm getting goosebumps right now just thinking about whenever we saw that Freeze announcement, the Riddler announcement, things that we were not expecting. That made it exciting. And I really feel like they did a nice job of balancing all that out. Whereas the last show was not for me. It was not for people like me. It was for hardcore collectors of all that other stuff I just mentioned. So that was definitely a hit. I guess the only miss was I wish it was longer. I wish that they had shown more DC pieces. I feel like a big miss was not showing that Hush Catwoman. They've been teasing her, although I have had confirmation from Johnny that they were basically going to tweak her. They're going to, improve her. And maybe they're going to take what they had and up the level, like with that portrait. Maybe that's what they're going to do. Maybe all their third scales, like they said, their third scales are going to be maybe that next level in terms of sculpt. So we'll see. I'm excited to see what they do with that piece, but that's definitely one of my most anticipated pieces coming out of Next Level. Again, it's going to be like 2 years from now at least. Even if it goes up for pre-order today, it's unlikely. So fingers crossed we see that. So again, that's a miss that they didn't update us on some of the stuff that they've shown before, like Mask the Phantasm. I have this feeling, I have this rumbling, I haven't confirmed this, but I have a feeling that one of the next shows that they do will be mostly DC. Okay, just because they have a lot in the works. They have a lot that they've kind of shelved for the time being. Again, I have been told that DC is not a priority because of the way fans are reacting. The movies have sucked. But I have glimmers of hope. Again, like the Penguin show, freaking phenomenal, absolutely fantastic. And I want to remind you that tonight is that last Penguin show. I am stoked, but I am freaking bummed. 1 hour, 8 minutes, as longest show of the season. Can't wait to see it. So I'm going to miss that show because it has become one of my favorite shows in a long, long time. So anyway, yeah, big hits. I thought the show was fun. I thought it was awesome. but I definitely want to hear your take. Like, what were your favorite pieces? Or were there misses for you? Obviously, misses, we could talk about price point, and it's going to be expensive, and like, who can afford this? I really do feel like they are targeting at this point the hardcore collector. They are not targeting the everyday collector anymore, and so that's just where we're at. It's the hard reality, the hard truth that I'm needing to bring to you guys, because that's where we're at in 2024, going into 25, 26. Definitely pinpointing those hardcore collectors. Prices are not going to come down, folks. It's just the way it is. Just the way it is. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but anyway, that's a miss. But overall, I thought the show was great. But again, I want to hear your thoughts. I am going to quit rambling. I feel like I am on like some sort of caffeine high right now. I am I'm having a great day. So I hope you are as well. And, keep living your dream, keep collecting, and just be happy. Love you guys. I'll see you in the Batcave. Bye, everybody. Hey guys, thank you so very much for watching today, and if you're new here, please hit the subscribe button right here on the screen and check out these 2 awesome videos. I think you're going to love them. And also please join us on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. I would love to have you join in all the fun. Thank you guys so very much for watching. See you in the Batcave.